Everyone Saranai. Everyone Sana, dear friends of Dhamma, welcome to our English Zoom talk. First, we would like to pay our Buddha, Father, spiritual guide, Dhamma guidance teacher, and we also like to thank you all for attending this so Dhamma Zoom talk about when we discuss about Dhamma. According to the Patisamuppada, Dhamma is cause and effect. It says Nama Rupa Pacha Vijnana, meaning the belief that we have about a thought that comes from outside Nama and the belief that there are things outside Rupa creates another thought of knowing, which is an illusion, a lie. The same way coming together of sound and color is called Nama Rupa. For example, when we hear the word pineapple, Nama, the image of pineapple comes to our mind. The coming together of the sound and color is the creation of the illusion called thoughts or vijnana. The sounds and color is put together in your mind consciousness. If you receive a sound, you automatically connect into the shape or a thing. That means a chitta or a thought is formed. The fact that you receive the sound means is also a thought. The sound does not come from outside. The sound is also a thought that comes from within. They live in a world of thought. We don't live in a world outside. Nate kamayani chitrani loke sankaparago pudisasakama, meaning the naming of something beautiful or ugly does not exist outside. Beauty and ugliness exist only in the thoughts. We are the ones who think it's beautiful or ugly. The book does not say that it is a book. The mango tree does not name itself as mango tree. It is us. It is us who labeled it, named it. All these words are data that was fed into us from very small age. They are called Sammuti Pragnapti, meaning that the names have been given by us as all objects. Not that the objects names themselves. Now you are clear about them Mohatatavadi or knowledge in the moment. Now you have to learn to practice how to awaken to the moment. You must not believe in what all you see. You should not expect things that outside. If there's nothing outside, that means that that's you on this side. If there is a book that you see or that you think of, actually that is true. In other words, you are the book. Earlier in this discussion, you have to an awareness which is beyond thoughts. You have to realize that is not that. You see, but what you see is a thought, in other words. That you see is what you think. The awareness should be our home or should be our base. It's at this point that we cultivate sammasati. Sammasati is when there is no nama rupa or name and form. There is no duty, or in other words, we don't create to me and an outside. This moment does not have the concept of time. There is no thing in this moment of being awake, being aware. A book is a thing, an object. A table is an object, sankhara or having a thought at any moment means you have a feeling that you exist, you are this in, and the word at the other end. When you realize the pure truth of would say when we awaken to the moment, you would realize that our thoughts that create this illusion of existence. It is also called Vijnana Mayava. A thing exists only because a sound and a color come together. If you have feeling, it is the Vijnana, it is the thing. When Nama, thoughts generated from within. Rupa, thought generated due to the belief at and outsiders. Comes together, it is also another thought. Then, what we see outside is all a lie in illusion, isn't it? Things don't exist anywhere, does it? All what we think does not exist anywhere. The different language have different sounds. The language itself is thought. Now, does the language exist? They are all an illusion. This illusion can be realized or understood only by having awareness. A very small baby has awareness. A very small baby does not have any thoughts about what things are. He does not have any thoughts about sounds or thoughts about images. He has only a awareness. This awareness is the pure truth, also known as Parama, Parama Satya. Mom, you asked me to explain Ajita, Ajata Bahida. When we say that someone has arrived at the state of Sotapanna or stream entry, it means that you have realized that the outside world does not exist. We have realized that the world outside is only a thought. This state of wisdom is called Sotapanna Bhumi, stream entry. Then Anushote means you accept the world outside as the reality. And this state of mind is called Pruthajana Bhumiya, conventional originated position. When you have realized that the outside is not the truth and that you are at a level of wisdom of Sotapanna, it means that you are on the right path. Now, we will see what one has to do when one has already developed the wisdom of a state and anagami, never return nor future birth. We mentioned earlier in this discussion that is there isn't spoken, then I just don't exist. The one with the wisdom of anagami look at the world without an eye concept in what he sees. He looks at the world with an emptiness. He does not give any value to any of the thoughts. If he sees a thing, he knows that it is only a sound and color. If the stimulus Aramunu is a book, and if it becomes real to you, then you are there. Then there is you, the observer. The Buddha said in Dhammam, it means I who see it, the one with the wisdom of Anagami. Look at the book without giving any value to it. As he knows that it is an illusion, then there is no high concept in it. It is only awareness. This is this deepest point of wisdom. Then our friends of Dhamma, we every day discuss on Dhamma, is in the Zoom. Also, we practicing in Pratipada in our day-to-day life. Sometimes when we practice in Dhamma, we face some problems, some occurs. We want to we want to get a solution. Then a Kalyan with the Dhamma teacher always ready to explain Dhamma, give a correct answer and give the correct path to Nibbana. Then we discuss it about our Kalyan method till we at the moment. Arana say join us. Everyone can
Tiruvan Saranai, may the Noble Triple Gem bless us all. First, let us pay homage at the feet of our spiritual guide, noble friend, Venerable Buddhotpada Arana. Let us begin our today's discussion with the continuation of practical pathway to liberation from suffering. The most important aspect of Buddhism and Buddha's teaching is practical pathway. This is quite evident if you go through the Buddhist writings that Buddha always valued the disciples who was on the practical pathway. Until the recent past, and the Buddhotpada teachings were heard by us, we didn't know the importance of the practical experience and what was all Buddhas were teaching people who were trying to find the truth. We all know that the six senses are operation of a system, and it's not something that you can easily save yourself being part of the system. And this system create illusion, and this illusion is so strong, and personalities and I-ness are created on the day-to-day activities we used to do. To overcome the system, only way is how you practically we practically do to overcome the system. And this is the only way that you can liberate yourself from the suffering. And Vidarshana meditation gives you the opportunity to live in the present moment or mindfulness to overcome the illusion created by the six senses. So, Buddhotpado guidance will give you most practical way that you can achieve this in modern day Buddhist teachings. So my dear friends, you are very lucky to born in this era to hear the practical way of achieving this freedom from enormous suffering. For this purpose, you have to develop Yathabhuta Jnana. The meaning of Yathabhuta Jnana is Yatha means reality, Bhuta means creation. And reality creation wisdom is the key to achieve liberation from suffering. What do you mean by reality creation wisdom? Reality creation wisdom is the wisdom you gain from understanding the universal truth. By now, you all know the universal truth is how the six senses operate, and it's a process and a system. It's not me, mind, myself for you to hang on. This is a phenomena similar to any other matter in the nature. And it's a system you will find within a tree or a flowing river. And only problem is that we are accepting and believing there is an existence of me, mind, myself. To overcome this belief and believe that you are in existence, and the feeling you are getting that you are in life and in existence is the practical pathway. Why do we say this? Going back to the beginning of our lives, we were forced to believe that we are in existence and we have to preserve I-ness or me, my personality, my profile, and we do anything to preserve it. And the practical pathway or the Vidarshana meditation help you to overcome this misconception and wrong view. So when you start to practice mindfulness or waking to the moment, you will see gradually how the six senses are creating the world and illusion that give you the existence or the feel of life or believing that I'm in existence. The main reason for us to believe that we are in existence is that when we see something, we see it as I see it. Or when we hear something, we hear it I heard. Or bodily sensation, that is taste, smell, and sensation as I feel, I smell, or I taste. These are the behaviors we have been doing for decades, and it's not easy thing to overcome these behaviors. So the practical pathway will be the only way that help you to come out of these habits and behaviors. And these habits and behaviors is the main reason that you believe that you are in existence and the illusion created. So, dear friends, we shouldn't be delayed anymore, and we have a very short period of time to liberate ourselves and try to be practical as much as possible, saying that first try to understand the universal truth of how the I-ness is created, that is dependent on origination and cause and effect. So as soon as you understand that there is no me, mine, myself, that is just a system operate based on the six senses, and then when you become a practical practitioner, this is the freedom and this is the serene being you want to be. And if you go on the practical pathway, you will realize your tranquility, vidarshana tranquility, will be gradually increasing, and you will always get the feeling that when you are carried away by the senses, that it's just a sensor and it's not me, mine, myself, or I-ness. This is the ultimate objective of all the Buddhist practitioners. Dear friends, you don't have to go too far away to understand what we are trying to tell here. Just take a step back and remember the time that sometimes you will feel that when you are being carried away by the thoughts and you realize that, oh, it's just a thought, or it's just a taste, or and you come to your sense. And this is what you will have when you practice vidarshana meditation and become a practical practitioner. And you will gradually have this feel more than the imagination and thoughts in your day-to-day life. And this will give you the freedom. This will give you the ultimate happiness, and you will not be a slave of your thoughts and imaginations. This is what Gautama Buddha exclaimed 2500 years back. The solution to suffering and the solution to suffering and liberation of suffering all are within our body. And it's a matter of just understanding the truth, Yatha Bhutanana, or reality of creation wisdom. To get the reality creation wisdom or the Yatha Bhutanana, you need to be a good practitioner. On all four stances, you have to be wakened and waken up enough to understand what the six senses are doing. And this is why Buddha is also known as awakened one. And our noble friend always tell us, when you go in the pathway, the practical pathway, you will ultimately achieve the supreme tranquility or adhigata samadhi, which will make you completely liberated from the system, and you will have the wisdom to not to be part of the illusion. And this is the being Buddha called Mahapurusho, the ultimate being. This is the time you will be completely survive from the sorrow, suffering, sadness, stress, and all kind of pain you are in. The beauty of this is that you will understand there is a system, and the system is running 24/7, and you are not a part of the system. Since you don't have me, mind, myself attached to the system, and you will realize it's just a system running, and it's not anything for me to gain, or there is no me at all. And this is the time you will be searching throughout your samsara, and this is the all the noble ones achieved, and this is the greatest achievement any being can achieve, and it's very rare. One who achieved this status will realize there is only duties and responsibilities, and there is no any ego or personality to be maintained. So he would be part of the nature and a very polite and serene being that anyone would like to be with. So my friends, this is the best you can do for the fellow mankind, and the other beings. So how do you achieve this greatest endeavor a human being can achieve? This is the ultimate objective of a human being, born as a human being should achieve. We have to go back to the ultimate universal truth. The universal truth is, or the Dhamma, the depending on origination, understanding the cause and effect of the six entities. And six entities creates the feel that you are in existence. And each time the sensor you get, you are getting struck by it. Just see the example of how you feel when something happens to your family member. The best example is that even a minor illness of your family member gives you a lot of suffering, pain, anxiety, stress, and worries. But when you hear about something happened to your neighbor or someone who is not attached to you, you don't feel the same. Why is it? Because you are trying to keep your family members to you, and you always feel one of your own. That's what happened with the six senses also. When you feel that sight of something, you feel, I seen it. When you hear something, you feel, I hear it. That feel gives you, existence. This is the fundamental error that we made to make ourselves suffering. If you further go into the example, you see thousands of children are being killed in wars. But when your child has fever, you get the greatest effect from that. But you never get any cause of concern when you hear in news thousands of children are killed in Middle East. Have you ever thought why is it? Because you don't feel like those thousands of children killed in Middle East as your own. And it's same with what you focus or the Aramuna. In Pali, the Aramuna or the focus. As soon as you focus on something, and it becomes your own. And when you believe it is in existence, any object, outside world, in return gives you your field of existence. That is the signal of soul. That is in Pali, Atma Sanya. And the signal of existence or the Atma Sanya give you the ignorance and the wrong view to that. You are in existence. And with that you get the I-ness, me, mine, myself, and do anything to preserve your ego, personality, and existence. This is the core of our story. This is what we are doing from our birth. And this is are the habits and behaviors we carried on for years and years. With that, the suffering, stress, sorrow, all these problems we encounter. My dear friends, as soon as you realize depending on origination and cause and effect, and the truth of how the system operates, and the system is depending on the 6 entities, and the 6 entities are depending on the vibrations and the feed to it, and as soon as the origination is not there and the system's dependence are not there, the effects is also not there. This is a cause and effect Dhamma or phenomena, and it's not something that you believe to or made to believe from your birth. When you realize the truth and when you become exploring the truth, and this is called in Pali Arya Parveshana, or the Arya Explorer, you will become a practical person or a practitioner, and you will gradually start to be awakened, and if you listen to Buddhodbado guidance, and you can achieve this wherever you are. And you will not be a victim of the illusion of your eyes or illusion to your ears or illusion to your taste, or illusion to your smell, or illusion to your bodily sensation, and most importantly, illusion and imagination created by your thoughts. This is possible only for a human being to understand. By now you should understand other beings are not having same kind of senses we have, and we have the gift of wisdom within us, and most importantly, we have the ability to feel and not rely entirely on thoughts and imaginations. Because thoughts and imaginations are sometimes misguide you, but feelings show you the pathway to your liberation. When you become a practitioner, after learning the universal truth, you will tend to feel more rather than relying on thoughts. And some of these feelings are identified as wisdoms or jnana by Buddha, and they have different classifications of these wisdoms. Some of them are called, to name few of them, Asavakya Jnana, Yatabhuta Jnana, Rupi Nivanasthita Jnana, and all these jnana means wisdoms. As Buddhotpadwaran says, I always follow his advice. You shouldn't go behind these words. What you have to do is understand the universal truth and become a practitioner and go in the practical pathway, and you will achieve all of these wisdoms. And those wisdoms also should not be a thing for you. You shouldn't search for the destination. You should go through the path. My dear friends, this is one-time opportunity you will get for your samsara time. And don't waste the time. Don't waste this time. And you can understand yourself how rare a being can understand this universal truth and explain it to other human beings. And how much of ignorance and wrong view world has been encountered. In Buddha's teaching, it very clearly says there are periods of not hearing the universal truth. And imagine the suffering we all have to go through in those periods. And my personal experience, even born into a Buddhist family and very close to one of the well-known Asian temples in Sri Lanka, listening to great teachers and following all the writings, but it took so many years for us to understand the universal truth and find someone who can practically guide you to liberation and the freedom. And this, our personal experience is that even if you are born within close proximity to the Dhamma, still rare that you will realize it yourself, because it's very scarce to find a noble friend or a Kalyana Mitra who has understood the universal truth and gone through the practical path, and most importantly, would be able to come and explain it a way simple anybody can understand. And this is also another kind of a wisdom which is called Abhiññāñāna, and we are lucky to have someone who has achieved that level. Even in Buddha's era, there were only few arahats who had that ability. One of them come to our memory is Arahat Sariputta, who had the wisdom or the ability, talent that could explain Dhamma to others. And it says that he was only second to Tathagata, Lord Buddha. And this kusala or talent is also very rare within us, who can liberate or understand it's just a system and avoid feeling the existence or identify a soul, I-ness, me, mine, and myself is very difficult. One of the most challenging things a human being can achieve. And it is called kusal, or a talent or an ability. And greatest ability of all the abilities and talent one could have is this talent, kusala. And in Buddha's word, the kusalasa upasampada means if you have the ability to not to get tricked by the six senses or the being part of the illusion is the upasampada, or you get the status of someone who have achieved the basic requirement to become a Buddhist. And Buddhist in Pali, Bauddha, one who terminate the rebirth is the one who understand and prevent the illusion created by six senses. You can experience this yourself. Now think, with the six senses, you understand that the pictures created in Chittarupa, or in Pali, the visions or images you created in your mind is the process that continue the existence. And as soon as you prevent depending on origination and cause and effect, as soon as you prevent the vision and believing that you are in existence, and in your last breath, you can understand you will not getting birth somewhere else. And Buddha always spoke about samanantara, that means sama antar, that means two ends become equal, and that is how the picture created in the system, Chittarupa. And Buddhotpada Aryan Vansa explained it to us modern days with the modern day science, telepathy, and the example Buddhotpada Aryan Vansa, who brought to this world, is that how the television captures the picture. You can't see the picture coming from outside. It's just when the television's sensors are in the same wavelength to the telecasting tower, how are capturing the pictures. It's similar to what happening in our mind as well. And the talent, till you develop this talent, going through the practical pathway and getting your ability or skills or kusala improved, not to get tricked by the illusion, you are part of the system and you are a victim to the system. And this talent or the kusala can be only improved if you practically doing it as much as possible. With that, you will be awakened and you will be awakened to the present moment. And with that, you get the vidarshana tranquility, which is the greatest non-materialistic ability you can achieve. With that tranquility, you will understand only the six senses are working. That is when you see something, it's just sighted and it's not me, mine, myself. And when you hear something, it's just hearing and it's not me, mine, myself. When you taste something, it's just a taste. It's not me, mine, myself. And when you smell something, it's just a smell and it's not me, mine, myself. And when you have a sensation, body sensation, it's just a sensation. It's not me, mine, myself. And when you have an image or a thought, it's just a thought or an image. It's not me, mine, myself. That gradually will come to you with the practical experience you are getting, with the knowledge of the universal truth. And this will improve if you practically experiencing how these six senses are working and how the snapshots are created in your mind, and you will understand it's just a system running similar to a tree existent outside your garden. It's not for you to get attached and kill or die for it. And this is the freedom you will have from being a slave to the system, and you will be the master, and practically there is no you in the end. It's just part of the system working, and this is not something you shouldn't worry about, whether you would be able to do your day-to-day activities. You can understand it yourself, but as someone who are practically trying to do this can assure you, you would be able to do your day-to-day routine work much more effectively, and your focus is very much higher compared to knowing the truth before and going through the practical pathway, and you will be much more capacitated to do stuff, and you will not get tired easily, and you will understand that most of the time you were exhausted because of the thoughts, not actually the body is tired. And this is something you will appreciate, and the greatest gift you will ever get. So, friends, if you really want to stop this suffering, sorrow, sadness, and endless cravings, and unable to satisfy your senses, This is the only pathway. This is the only way. And you don't have to believe, since we are telling it to you, since Buddhotpada Aryan Vasi is telling it to you, even it's in the books, or even Tathagata has told it. You can experience it yourself. It's a noble exploration, or Arya Gaveshana. You can do it. This is Sandittika Dhamma. This is a phenomena you can realize yourself. So it's not a belief, and it's not something for you to worship. It's just a simplest of things. Look into your inward and understanding how this system works, and it's not a soul or I-ness to maintain. It's just the habits and behaviors we were trained from our birth. We see nowadays most people are understanding that it's a manifestation of these six senses, and with the explanation Buddhotpada Aryan Vahanse is providing, everybody understand is a system, but this is not adequate. As a friend to you, what we can suggest is you have to do the practical pathway. If you are lucky enough to go to a practical training centers and get the guidance from the Venerable Sangha or Manyan Vahanses, you are very lucky. Even if you don't have that luxury, don't get discouraged. You have enough guidance from Buddhotpada, and please use them and try to be practical as well, as much as you can, in all four stances: sitting, standing, walking, or even in lying down. You have to develop your own vessel, and same time you can't hurry. As Buddha says, you can build your own vessel, as well as you can't get on to somebody else's vessel. And same time, if you are rushed too much, you can overboard the vessel. This is the advice Buddhotpada Aryan Vahanse is always telling us as well. We have the opportunity to learn from somebody who had experienced it, and then try to develop our own pathway to the freedom. And it's very important that you also don't make the pathway also a thing or something you are craving or try to get attached. You have to let it go as something you want to achieve, and don't try to find destinations like you want to achieve any status. Just try to live in the moment and understand in the truth and how it works, and be your own explorer as well as the guide. Hope this will help you to find your pathway, and if you have any questions or clarifications, Buddhotpadu Arana has created so much of avenues for you to reach out to Buddhotpadu Arana. Oh, there are now more and more practitioners who are experiencing it all over the world, who would be able to help you. Theruvan Saranai, may the Noble Triple Gem bless our soul. And again, let us pay homage at the feet of Buddhotpadu Arana for the greatest gift one can give to anyone.
Theruvan Saranai, Mehenin Mahasa. Your today's introduction about Paticca Samuppada was very clear, and we are so grateful for sharing your knowledge with us, Mehenin Mahasa. Theruvan Saranai. My sincere thanks to our Buddhotpad Dhamma friend for his valuable insight about the practical way of achieving freedom of suffering, and as explained by our spiritual guidance teacher, Buddhotpadu Arana. Thank you so much. Theruvan Saranai Arana Mahansa. Theruvan Saranai everyone.
Theruvan Saranai.